Beautiful souls. Imagine this. The sky outside feels heavy today, as if the clouds are pressing down on the world. You might hear the wind walking through the trees, a restless sound that finds its way inside. You can feel it in your chest, too. A tightness, a knot that sits just below your ribs. That is the feeling of worry. It is a loud and demanding guest. It is restless. It speaks without asking for permission, filling the quiet spaces with its noise. It arrives like a sudden storm, with the sound of rain against the window pane and a chill that has nothing to do with the weather. Worry has a way of painting a very big picture. It is an artist of worst-case scenes, showing you a future filled with everything that could possibly go wrong. It plays a long, looping list of anxieties, each one beginning with the tired old question, what if? Worry is a thief in the night. It keeps you awake when your body longs for rest. It makes the day ahead feel heavy before it has even begun. It has a talent for stealing the small, simple joys, taking moments of peace and turning them into new problems to be solved. Worry is not always loud in the way a shout is loud. Its noise is more subtle, a vibration you feel deep in your bones. It can make your hands tremble just enough for you to notice. It can make your breath catch, becoming small and shallow. For some, it makes the mouth go dry. And for others, it makes even the simplest decisions feel impossible. It is an anchor that keeps you from moving forward. It wants to keep you stuck right where you are, unable to take the next step, paralyzed by a future that has not even happened yet and may never come to pass. Now, in the midst of that noise, imagine something else. Imagine a whisper. It is a soft sound, so quiet you have to lean in to hear it. It is calm. It is steady. This is how faith speaks. It does not arrive with the force of a gale. It is not a shout that tries to drown out the storm. Instead, it gently asks you to breathe. It quietly asks you to look up from the turmoil. It says, with a gentle strength, you are not alone in this. It reminds you, just take it step by step. This is the voice that waits for you to listen. Yeah, just listen. Let us talk more about worry and what it does to the body. It is more than just a thought. It is a physical presence. It can feel like wearing a coat that is 2 sizes too small, constricting your shoulders and making it hard to draw a full breath. It settles in your stomach, a cold stone that makes you lose your appetite for food and for life. Worry can make your muscles ache with a tension you did not realize you were holding. You might find your jaw is clenched, your shoulders are tied up by your ears, or your brow is furrowed in a permanent state of concern. The mind under the influence of worry is a relentless machine. It replays past mistakes on a constant loop, not for learning, but for shame. It fast-forwards into 1,000 different futures, each one more disastrous than the last. It builds arguments with people who are not in the room. It creates problems that do not yet exist and demands that you solve them right now. This mental chatter is exhausting. It drains your energy, leaving you too tired to focus on the real tasks of the day, the real people who need your attention, and the real beauty that is right in front of you. Worry also changes how you see the world. It is like wearing a pair of glasses that tints everything with a shade of gray. A kind word from a friend might seem suspicious. A new opportunity might look like a hidden trap. The silence from a loved one is not seen as peace, but as a sign that something is terribly wrong. Worry filters out the good and magnifies the bad. It convinces you that the world is a dangerous and unpredictable place and that you are not equipped to handle it. It robs you of your confidence and replaces it with a constant humming state of alert. This state of high alert is not sustainable. No one can live on the edge of a cliff forever. Worry depletes your reserves. It borrows joy from tomorrow, leaving you emotionally bankrupt. It tells you that if you just think about the problem hard enough, you can control the outcome. But that is a lie. Worry gives you the illusion of control while actually taking away your power. It keeps you spinning in circles, thinking, planning, and fearing, but rarely moving. It is a cage built of your own thoughts, and it can feel impossible to escape. Yeah. Now let us turn to faith. Faith is not the absence of trouble. It is not a magical shield that stops the rain from falling. It is not pretending that everything is perfect when it clearly is not. Faith sees the storm. It feels the wind. It feels the rain. It acknowledges the size of the waves. But faith holds onto a different kind of knowledge. It is the deep, quiet trust that the storm will eventually pass. It is the belief that even when the path is dark and you cannot see your own feet, there is a hand that guides you forward. Faith looks and feels like a deep, slow breath in a moment of panic. It is the conscious decision to unclench your jaw. It is the choice to let your shoulders fall. It is the act of looking up at the sky, even a cloudy one, and remembering that the sun is still there, waiting to return. Faith is a quiet confidence, not in your own ability to fix everything, but in a power and a love that is greater than your own. It feels like a warmth spreading through your chest, a calm that settles over your racing heart. It is a stillness in the center of the chaos. This is not a contest of strength where your faith must be bigger than your fear from the very start. It is simply a choice. The choice is often small and quiet, made in the privacy of your own heart. When your chest tightens with anxiety, the choice is to consciously take one slow, deep breath. When your mind begins to race with all the terrible possibilities, the choice is to find one single truth to hold on to. When fear asks its endless list of what-if questions, the choice is to answer with a single, simple line of faith. Think of it this way. Worry is loud, faith whispers. Worry demands your immediate and full attention, like a screaming siren. It wants to be the only voice you hear. But faith is patient. It waits. It speaks in a tone that is easy to miss if you are not listening for it. The work is not to shout over the worry, but to quiet your mind just enough to hear the whisper. That whisper is where your true power lies. It is the voice that reminds you of your resilience. It is the voice that reminds you of your strength. It is the voice that reminds you of the unwavering presence of hope. Right? So, keep that whisper close. Imagine you are on a boat in the middle of a great storm at sea. The waves are enormous, crashing over the deck. The wind roars in your ears, and the small boat rocks violently from side to side. Fear is the voice that screams, "We are going to sink." Fear wants to abandon the wheel, to hide below deck, to give up completely. Fear looks at the size of the waves and declares that the ship is too small, that the journey is over. Fear sees only the immediate danger and forgets the destination entirely. But faith is the sailor at the helm. The sailor feels the rocking of the boat and the sting of the sea spray. The sailor does not deny the storm's power, but instead of panicking, the sailor checks the ropes. The sailor adjusts the sails to work with the wind, not against it. The sailor trusts the compass and the map, knowing they point towards safe harbor. With a steady hand on the wheel, the sailor guides the boat through the waves, one at a time. Faith is that sailor. Faith is that steady hand, trusting in the vessel and the journey, even in the heart of the tempest. Now, think of a tiny seed buried in the dark, cold soil. It is alone. It cannot see the sun or feel the warmth of the day. All it knows is the quiet, the pressure of the earth, and the long, silent wait. Doubt would tell the seed that this darkness is all there is. Doubt would say, "Nothing is happening. You will never grow." But deep inside that seed, a spark of life is stirring. It stretches slowly and unseen. Then one morning, it breaks through the surface of the ground. The sun greets it. The flower begins to open. That is faith. It is the power that grows in the unseen places. Worry and faith keep very different kinds of records. Worry makes long, detailed lists of all the potential dangers and threats. Faith makes a list of promises kept and blessings received. Worry constantly reminds you of old losses, past failures, using them as evidence that you will fail again. Faith remembers the times help arrived unexpectedly, the moments of grace that saw you through. When worry insists that there is no way forward, faith gently reminds you that there is always a way when you walk with a power greater than yourself. You may not feel brave today. You may not feel particularly strong. That is perfectly okay. Faith does not demand that you feel courageous before you begin. It is not a prerequisite. Faith often grows in the soil of our vulnerability. It takes root when we admit we do not have all the answers. It begins to grow when you take one single small step forward, even while your knees are shaking. A simple step of prayer, a step of telling one person the truth, a step of trusting one promise for 1 hour. So let us begin with something small. Right now, wherever you are, try to sit in stillness for the length of just 2 deep breaths. Breathe in slowly and breathe out even more slowly. Now, name the worry. Say it out loud if you can, or write it down on a piece of paper. I am worried about my health. I am afraid of this meeting. Give it a name. Now place a simple truth right next to it. God is with me. I am not alone. This too shall pass. Let the truth be simple. Let it be something you can believe right here in this moment. Next, practice letting go of the need to control every outcome. This is a difficult but liberating step. You do what you can with the wisdom and strength you have today. You send the email, you make the phone call, you do the work, and then you release the rest. Picture your hands, which may have been clenched into fists. Consciously open them, palms up. Let your chest soften. Let your breath deepen. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to carry in the first place. When fear begins to speak and its voice gets loud, listen to it with a certain kindness. Do not fight it or try to push it away. That often just makes it stronger. Think of it as a passenger in your car, not the driver. Acknowledge its presence. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. Then, gently but firmly, turn your attention to faith. Let faith sit in the driver's seat.
Say to your fear, I hear you, but today I will choose to trust. Say it again.
Turn that quiet whisper of faith into a steady, calming rhythm. Repeat these lines to yourself. Let them become the anchor for your day. Worry is loud. Faith whispers. Worry demands your immediate and full attention, like a screaming siren. It wants to be the only voice you hear. But faith is patient. It waits. It speaks in a tone that is easy to miss if you are not listening for it. The work is not to shout over the worry, but to quiet your mind just enough to hear the whisper. That whisper is where your true power lies. Let these contrasts become clear in your mind. By repeating them, you are retraining your brain to recognize the difference and to consciously choose the voice you follow. This repetition is not empty. It is a way of carving a new path in your mind. Picture yourself at the very beginning of a new day. The sky begins to break open. The sun pushes through the last of the night's darkness. Light finds the wet ground, and you can see steam rising from the river. You take a deep breath in. The air feels clean and new. The world is beginning again. That sunrise is like a new choice offered to you every single morning. You can choose to wake up and carry yesterday's worry, or you can choose to wake up and carry new hope. You decide which one you will hold. Remember the power of small stories. Think of a mother who prayed her way through a long, dark night and saw the morning come. Think of a man who, after years of being stuck, took one new step toward a healthier life. Think of a child who was afraid to draw, but picked up a pen after fear said, "Stop," and created something beautiful. These small acts are faith in motion. They may seem insignificant on their own, but small acts add up. A little bit of faith, acted upon consistently, can move a mountain of worry. You do not need to fix your entire life today. That is too heavy a burden for anyone to carry. You only need to choose one truth to hold on to for the next hour. Let your day become a string of these small, true moments. Each one builds a bridge over the chasm of anxiety. Each whispered prayer, each deep breath, each conscious choice for trust becomes a stone in a new path. Step by step, you walk yourself out of the storm and into the clearing. Your journey is made of these small, deliberate movements toward the light. Hold a quiet journal in your hands. You do not need to write pages and pages. Just write one sentence each morning. Today, I choose faith over worry. When you see help arrive in an unexpected way, write it down. When you accomplish something you were afraid of, write it down. Record these small victories. On days when the night feels especially loud and the worry feels especially big, read those pages. Let your own history be the proof. Your journal will become a testament, reminding your heart of what is true when your mind forgets. Now, take a final deep breath. Feel your chest soften. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Let your eyes rest. Say it once more, not as a hope, but as a fact. Let it echo in the quiet chambers of your heart. My faith is stronger than my fear. Let this be your final promise to yourself tonight. Let it be the steady song that carries you into a peaceful sleep and a hopeful morning. Worry will come again. It will try to be the loudest voice. But from now on, you will have a whisper ready. A whisper that says, I choose trust. A whisper that says, I will take one step. A whisper that is growing into your new and steady path. Stand now. Breathe. And know that your faith is stronger than your fear.